So my guest today is Kiona Leah, and her business is Healthy by Kiona, is the name of her company. Usually, I read a short bio about my guest in order to get you introduced to them. But this time, I'm going to begin the program with letting her talk about her story because it is a really interesting story. And I think it really sells the system and sells her and what she does really more effectively. So I'll shut up and I'll say, Kiona, welcome to Think About It.
Well, thank you, Sylvia. It's really great to be here. And it is kind of unusual, I know, for you not to do an introduction, so I really appreciate that.
Hey, that's all right. You know, you're a speaker, I'm a speaker. I can let it go for a while.
I know, for once. And it's always so hard to do that, isn't it? Where it's just like, yeah, I'm just going to let the other person speak, especially when we love to talk, which we definitely do.
So tell us your story.
So my story with T-Tapp began 7 years ago is when I discovered the system. And prior to that, for 2 years, I had been just a regular fitness trainer at the gym. You know, I taught weights and cardio and diet. I was certified in sports nutrition. And over the years, that had stopped working for me. I was working out as much as 2 and 3 hours a day, starving on 1,000 calories a day. And, you know, I'd gotten down to being really emaciated and anorexic. And then it stopped working.
Huh.
And so I started, you know, I had a hard time with stress and things like that. So I started binge eating on my off days. That's always what I say. And that started piling up more and more and more and more. But then when I would go back to working out, it wasn't working. Huh. And I went from about a size 4 all the way up to like a 16, 18 in about 9 months.
See, I've read that, and I was amazed because I met you years ago.
Yeah.
In fitness, and you were looking buff, as they say, and then when I saw your story about going up in size, I thought, wow, with all that exercise?
Yeah, and it really was, you know, of learning how does the body work and why does it work this way. And I say to my classes all the time, how many of us have dieted and exercised and had it not work?
Yeah.
And invariably, people raise their hand and go, oh yeah, that was me. I always say a picture tells 1,000 words, so this is my original before picture.
Okay.
From 7 years ago, right after I discovered T-Tapp. That's what I look like. And that was at the end of that binging and really going up. Teresa always said she wanted to put a caption under there, has never been pregnant. Because a lot of my mommies say, that just looks like me after I had the baby. And I always say, that might have been nice for you. For me, that was a sheet cake baby, personally. So it's a little more difficult. And that's how I discovered T-Tapp. I met this woman, 20 years older than me, who looked more incredible than I looked when I was anorexic.
Wow.
Had a flat stomach like I could never obtain, and said, I eat 3,500 calories a day. And I went, whatever this lady knows, I need to know. And that's how I got started, was I went, I want to know whatever this is. Started learning the program, learning the system. And, you know, the first year I didn't see huge losses because I really honestly was still binge eating. But I went down from a 16, 18 to a 14. And even that, when you're still polishing off half a sheet cake at least once a week, is an amazing, amazing journey to be on. And I always say that T-Tapp really, truly is a miracle because I saw results even without really changing my behavior. And that is what empowered me to start changing my behavior, to really start looking at how I eat intelligently. I don't eat perfect now. I make the joke that I don't miss a day with chocolate. And it's really important to me.
And it's real chocolate. It's
and
not
it's
all that
real
fake
chocolate.
stuff.
Yeah, no. I buy good organic truffles, and I'll have 1 or 2, but I really make sure I still have them because that made a difference to me. And the more I learned about eating disorders and how to really deal with them, the more it made a difference to me to really focus on the workout. And what I tell people in my classes is that I teach them 2 things. Number 1, be consistent. I teach all over the Maryland, D.C. capital region on a very consistent basis, so people always have access to me. And number 2, to be what I call a black belt in your T-Tapp basics, because it's not about how much you do. Yeah, we have 75-minute workouts, but when you don't have time, when you have a job, a career, a company that you're running, or a family or whatever else, you don't have that kind of time. 15 minutes a day can make an amazing difference, and I always say I teach my 2 move a day program, where you literally can get results in just 2 moves a day by really doing a targeted exercise. And I tell people the number 2 thing I teach is to be a black belt in your T-Tapp basics.